Outside the Box should be viewed by mature audiences only. This show contains strong language, adult situations, drinking, ass-kicking fun, law-breaking nonsense, running with scissors, and just about everything your mother told you not to do. In other words, we are a bad influence and are irresponsible adults. Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, Pete, say something.
Hello. Testies, 1, 2. Testy.
No, I'm really just... We're here. It's been a long fucking time.
It's been a minute.
Dude,
Too long.
we had to figure out, dude, the camera has had a battery out of it for so goddamn long. When I turned it on, it asked me where the hell I was. Are you in London?
I forgot the time zone.
So, it's been a while. We got to get something out. And the funny thing is we've got Chris. He's another local guy here. And you guys all go crazy about the XP truck. So, we got an XP truck guy, but it's taken how long to fucking get you on the camera now?
Too long?
A long time. But not only that, he's also one of our Sunset brothers. And yet, we've got Joe over here. He's also here.
Hi.
And he's one of our Sunset brothers. And we just had a club meeting. So we're like, you know what, Chris? We got to get some shit. Sure, sit on the fucking couch and we're going to turn the camera.
Yay.
So we don't even have any plans. So we'll see how this conversation goes. You may want to go get some food or something. I don't know. So, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Chris.
My name's Chris. I drive we call it Teal XB truck.
And you did all of it yourself, which is what people are going to want because they want to hear all about that shit because I know when we get on the pages and stuff, they're like, how'd you do that? Can you do mine? Can you do
Yeah, it's been a long process, 3-4 years I've been building on it. The only problem I have is it's never done.
Never done.
I finished one thing and then this year I decided I'm going to do taillights and match the grills and then here I am changing, headliners and everything. It's been a long process, but I finally made it. I'm there.
Well, let's get to this point with this. What made you go to the point where you're like, I'm gonna make a truck, and then where did you start with it?
I saw a picture, and that was about as far as I made of finding it, how to do it, and just figured I can do it. But it took me, I'd say 2 weeks to actually get it done and get it out, to actually do it. And once I did, it was, you cut a major support on the car, you kind of have to keep going then.
Yeah.
And then there it is.
And you were from the body shop background, so it's not like you're just you work in a fucking cubicle and you're like, I'm gonna cut my truck up. So
no, I ran a body shop, I painted, I did everything, and it's something that I wanted to do, and I figured, nobody's done one around here, and I think I have the know how to do it. A lot of challenges came up through it, but it got done.
Well, and that's the thing that I want to get through to people. I want to motivate people to go out and do stuff. You do have to kind of know your mentality, where you are to be able to do this thing, because we've all seen the fucking horror pictures of these guys that are fucking doing it. What was the one guy? He fucking had tack welded sheet metal and then put expanding foam.
Yeah.
And we're all like, dude, you need more welds. He's like, I'm going to do it. And we're like, no, you're not.
Yeah, I remember that one.
There's a lot of them out there, and people that you see start them, and then they're like, hey, it's for sale. Dude, I think 95% of them have been up for sale that are.
Oh yeah, it's more than a normal person, I would say, could handle. It's not something you got to know what you're doing, like you said, in the body world and how to build stuff to do it. Because once you get into it, it's a lot. It took me, I'd say, 4 months, on the original chop and do stuff, because there's no blueprint to it.
Right.
You got to cut stuff, figure it out. You figure, oh, this part's too wide or this part's too little. You got to make it bigger, and it's.
Well, and that's with everything, even if you say for some reason, you did your XB, you did it in a truck, and now you're like, dude, I'm going to go get a Volkswagen Golf. and or Jetta or whatever the fuck those things are that are like that and they're doing, it's going to be completely different. And one of the things that people need to know when you're doing this, as Chris has kind of got onto, was this is a unibody vehicle. So this piece right here is part of the fucking frame, you know? So if you take the structure out of this, you've got to build it somewhere else. Otherwise, if you get hit in it, you're going to be in a crumpled up beer can.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
that's probably the strongest part of my car right now. I've got 1-inch steel tube, not maybe bigger than 1 inch, but it's huge, and I've got boxes wrapped around. I've got more steel in there than I think I need, but you know, like you said, if that I'm losing structural on there, and if I get hit there, they're gonna. I don't want them to just roll up on top of me, so now my whole thing's gonna go.
Yeah, and you want it to be structural because you know, like when I was building this. I knew my daughter's going in. You got loved ones that you're going to want to sit in that passenger side. So you want to know if something happens, God willing, you know, that they're all going to make it. So, you know, that's the main thing. And when we're sitting, we go back to this guy that had, I don't know if I'll be able to find any pictures to put it up, but he had cut the top off and he had just kind of tack welded the pieces in here, which is what you have to do. But when you put 1 to 2 tacks on the whole thing instead of welding it solid, you don't have that same structure.
I'll tell you, even though I reinforced everything and built stuff around, like you said, it's a unibody. So there's times where like I'll go up a curb and I can hear it shifting in the car because it's not 2 pieces like a normal truck would be. So even that little stuff a bit that they're going to do, it's going to pop and come off.
Right, and it's the same with this with doing the unibody drop on it. You know, the creaks and groans, there ain't no way getting around that. You know, we're modifying a factory vehicle. There's no way to get around that. So you are going to have that as well as some problems too.
Well, so, you know, it's solid too because like you've been driving it forever. You haven't had any body work that deflects. You haven't had any weird cracks in body work.
Just in my molded bumper, but
that's everything with a molded bumper.
Yeah.
So that's not being a truck. That's being molded bumpers.
Right. But then there's other things too because I'm sure you're just like me. You know, I'm capable of doing it, but yet my brain is telling me I'm not. So when I'm driving it down the road, I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
I'm going to die. It's fucking going down.
I was going to say, is it even a show car if it doesn't scare you or inconvenience you?
Yeah.
And I drive mine daily. When it comes summertime, I drive it.
You do drive it a lot.
We do.
If I'm gonna build it, I'm not gonna half-ass it because I daily my shit all the time in the summer, and I don't want to be driving around and my axle fall off or my door pop back open. Like you said, a little bit, and that pops off, and I can't do that. Like you said, even though it's all built, and I know I built it as strong as can be, I did something stupid like when I did the airbags, and I read something that says, "Oh, chop off that little rubber piece on your shock in the back, and it gives you like a 1/2 inch." Well, now my shock goes, and I hear it all the time, and it drives me nuts. And I start thinking, "Oh, maybe that's something else. Maybe it's something else." And they're like, "No, it's the shock. It's the shock."
Yeah. Well, and that's one of those things that you know. We talk about a lot. You guys we put a lot of trust on people on the internet, so you got to watch and look at some of those people because, especially now, and Pee Wee and I were talking about this earlier because we were going to bring it up. Is the Scion pages are fucking terrible.
Yeah, the Scion is not what it used to be.
You know, and these kids don't know anything, and it's hilarious because like we get on there and it's like, hey, anybody else got stuffed animals on their interior?
Right. Or, hey, what offset is that wheel? What's an offset? Or I have no idea.
Yeah. Which, there's nothing wrong with that, but, you know, you've got to take into consideration sometimes when you're talking to these people and you're getting, you know, my big thing is with going back to the wheel offset. Oh, what offset are you using on that? Or, you know, there's people always asking. I'm like, dude, learn how to do that yourself. You're going to spend, you know, wheels are fucking expensive. You know, to go out there and put your trust in something you heard on the fucking internet and spend $15 to $2,000 on it.
There's multiple YouTube videos that show you how to measure it too.
Yeah, well, they want the link.
No.
Yeah.
You got that link, people?
No, I don't have. No, I don't have the link. I have a search bar.
Do you guys know what Google is?
Oh, I hate that. Oh, where'd you tell it from? I don't know. I ordered them online. Well, do you know what website? Dude, I ordered them like 3 months ago, and I finally got around to doing it.
Do you guys notice on these forums that like you'll post something impressive or you'll see someone post something impressive and it gets no response?
Yeah.
But then some like something really basic gets a ton of response.
Well, but that's it. You know, it's like all the people
it's the easy shit.
Yeah, all the people that we associated with on those pages, we've all moved on. You know, we've gone to mini truck pages or our page or something else, and it's all the other people, and it's like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people. I think Scooter Schaefer posts on there. I think he gets quite a bit of love, which is well deserved. But you know, some of these other guys I've seen on there, they'll post, and it's like,
I know what you're talking about. Like they'll post a car up, and like they'll get 400 likes, and I'll post the XB truck up and get like 150, and I'm like, okay. I thought it was nicer than that shit.
Well, and like we were talking about that earlier with Raylan here, I post a picture of it like it sits here like this, and I get like 2 likes, and then I open the door and I'm like, people are like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't used to be that way. It used to be, dude, if I posted anything about Raylan, it would fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
But it just goes. Everything's changed. You know, the cars have moved on, like we've said. You know, a lot of the guys, you know, like Will, who's got that incredible fucking XB and Team Aftermath.
Basically, anyone in the calendars are gone.
Yeah, and they've all moved on and gone on.
Yeah, well, everyone that was in those calendars are all like gotten different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't do that. I mean, I understand they moved on, but like, you know, I went from mini trucks and then the Scion and then to the mini truck with the Scion. Yeah, I'm like in both categories, but I don't think I could ever get away from what I'm doing.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
I can't.
I can't.
Well, you know, with me,
I keep buying cars, so I know how we all feel.
Right, and you're like me. You know, I've got 3. You've got 2 now. Pee Wee's got a couple.
I've got 2. I've got 2 XBs.
And it's just kind of become part of us. And yeah, I'm a mini trucker. I've still got my mini trucks, and you know, I've got other things that I'm interested in. But I can't get rid of my XB.
No.
I don't. I'm kind of like that with anything. I've owned my '87, which is in the other, my '87 Toyota, which is in the other garage. That was the first vehicle I bought, and I've had it since I was just out of high school. So, you know, I don't get rid of shit.
No.
And that's a good thing to bring up too, because like I don't see it like when I build something, and I know you're kind of the same way with yours, because I see how you've got so much care for yours as well, that it's a part of you.
Yeah.
It's if I sold something of one of my cars, it's like, dude, that's me.
That's like if someone said, "Hey, how much for Raylan?"
I don't.
I personally, I've turned down $50,000 for my truck, and like, well, what about 100? And I'm like, it'd be
Dude,
close.
I don't know.
I
100
could
grand
build
is like a
another-
lot of money.
Yeah, but I could
Like,
build
I
another
can't-
one. Yeah, but
Well,
I've got 3.5 years into this
Yeah,
thing.
but like
at
100
least.
grand is like a lot of money.
I had the same thing. I was.
If it's
I would
money,
never take a reasonable amount for my XB.
If
Like, there's
if
no
money
way.
was an issue, then you know $50,000 would be no problem.
Well,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I don't need the money. I'm not selling stuff to buy stuff. Like you said, you put a lot of work into this thing. I put a lot of work into mine, and I'll probably die with that damn car.
well, I had somebody offer me $50,000 for freaking Miss Murder, and I was like, dude, this car ain't worth $50,000.
Well, yeah,
And then
It's not.
and
but
then I told him, like,
appreciate-
look, send me your car and the money, I'll build you one.
right.
But, and I don't want to get rid of Miss Murder, but this one, like, we've had conversations with how I did the tube frame on the front and how we needed to do tube frame in the back. And I'm like, dude, I already spent all the time to freaking, you know, Unibody drop this. Why don't I just get another one? And then I'm like, that's not Raylan Box.
Right.
This is this vehicle that I couldn't sell it. I can't sell Miss
Yeah.
Murder. And it's, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there the same way, and there's a lot of people that do. You know, Scooter Schaefer, his car's going under a freaking remodel now. And I know Will never got rid of his. He's still got it. He doesn't show it. But, you know, everybody's kind of moved on a little bit. But, you know, what about doing the XB truck? What is there, to the people that are out there, they're like, dude, I want to do that. What advice would you give people for doing it? And what advice would you give people to find people to do that for them?
The advice to doing it is if you don't know how to do anything or even half of anything with a car, don't do it. There's a lot of
Honest.
there's a lot of stuff that you know you don't realize that, like the back hatch is literally 2 inches smaller than the middle of the car, and if you cut the car up and you put it there and you're like, you have no idea what you're doing.
Right, and you don't think about that because
No.
unless you're doing, it's kind of like when you do a chop top, okay? If you're cutting the top and you bring it down 2 inches, you've got to realize that roof curves this way. And it's the same with the vehicle going this way. So what he just said is you're moving that piece up where it's at the very end, and it does taper in a little bit. You go to put it up, now you've got to widen that. Well, okay, well, what are you going to do? Because the back window is only one size. You're not cutting that down the middle and fucking, or getting another one.
Right. It all depends. Some people split the sides and actually just move the sides out of the metal. Some people just form around it. It all depends on, I would say, what your knowledge is to do.
Right, and me, I'm an XB guy. I consider myself kind of an expert on them. I wouldn't have known that either. So, this is the thing, even if, like, Chris went to do the Volkswagen next, having done it is great. He's got the experience, but every vehicle is different. It's kind of like what we say, and you'll understand this as well, being a body guy, learning how to sand Bondo and shape Bondo, I'm still learning it. I've been doing it for 25, 30 years now, and every car is different. Yeah. So it's the same with everything. Yeah, you might know how to do a body drop, you might know how to unibody drop, or you've done trucks or whatever. Every vehicle's different. And there's nothing wrong. We want you guys to be able to go out and do that, and we're not saying don't go out and do something, but if you've got your XB is your only vehicle, and you don't know how to change your oil, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, don't go chopping your car up.
So, and with that being said, what would you tell these people to look for, and they're trying to find somebody to do their vehicle? Because I've seen people out there, I'll do it. Yeah, okay.
You know what? Like, I don't have a problem. Like, if people are all about the hardcore DIY, which I'm for it.
Yes.
So like, if you want something done that's like way out of your skill set, I don't think there's any shame in farming it out to somebody to do.
There's not.
Yeah, but it's not.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's gonna be a hard thing. Like the guy, there's a guy, I think it's in Florida, that's building them, and he built one for himself, and then now he's building another one. But he owns and operates a body shop. He's a body shop owner. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard to take this. Say, hey, here's my Scion. I want you to make it look like a truck. Show the guy a picture and be like, do this. They're gonna be like, it's.
You gotta deal with somebody who does custom.
Right. I would say somebody that does chops the top, like old rat rod stuff. Because if you want to chop it or you want to do this and that, they would have the know-how and how to move something and make it bigger, make it smaller, and it's just.
And I know a lot of people that can do body work. You can't walk into any body shop and go, does anybody know how to do a chop top? No. You could probably in Chicago where we are. I don't know of any shops that do them.
I don't know any shops that advertise it.
I got one guy, but I'm not going to mention on camera, but because I don't care for him. But it's one of these things. You've got to find somebody that you can trust. Right. It's just like the mini truck thing with the body drops. You used to hear these horror stories of these guys that be body drop it out of my garage. And I used to be that guy.
Putting it together with a stick welder.
But you've got to know, and then somebody who's doing it right, because I know 100 horror stories of people that's fucking cars fall apart on the fucking drive to a show and killed people. So,
It scares me on my own shit. Well, I know it's built right, but I'm just saying. Man, please make it. I hear this weird clunking noise. Please make it, and it's nothing. Like I said, it's my shock.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. And I'll tell you what. That's why I don't build motorcycles anymore, because I started to build my motorcycle, and I was like, if I'm in a car, there's a good chance there's something there that's going to stop me from hitting my head.
Right.
Motorcycle, I can't really.
Don't get me wrong. I'll say 80% of the stuff that I've learned doing all this stuff, besides the fact that I worked in a body shop, I learned by trial and error. I had a second car. I went out there and did this. Okay, it didn't work. You know what? I got to fix it now because I have to drive it. A lot of it came down from trial and error and trying to figure out the easier way. I'm cheap. So I would try to do it before I pay somebody to do it. Once I realize I can't do it and it's fucked up, then I guess I'm paying somebody to do it. But that comes like motor work. Other than that, I can do anything else.
We're definitely cut from the same cloth there. And
my car don't start. It's either I fix that, and if I can't fix it, I go to my next car. If that don't work, I go to my next car. I got cars for days, man.
Yeah. And you're also the mini trucker. You got a kick-ass freaking, what year is that Toyota?
86.
86. What the cool thing is, and the mini truckers will get a kick out of it, and a lot of you younger guys might not even know, but that 86 is a turbo, and they came factory turbo, which used to be like a unicorn, dude. Like, you couldn't fucking find those cars.
Yeah, it's actually...
And you've got the 4x4 sheet metal, right?
Yeah.
4x4 bed, which is...
Oh, the bed, yeah.
Which, that is, like, huge. because those flares are just amazing. And I've got an '86 that I've got the front sheet metal, but I want to duplicate the rear, and I'm like, dude, there ain't no bed signs out there anymore.
No, and they're hard to come. There's a couple people I've seen online that like this guy will post up, and I even got him saved, but he's got like 20, 30 of them, like just Toyotas in like Minnesota, just in his field. He's like, yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff. What do you guys need? And it's like, damn, but they don't have the parts I need. That's what you're saying about mine is rare.
Yeah.
I can't find a lot of little parts, and it's like interior stuff that I want, and nobody has it. And if they do, they want $300 for these little door cups like this big and about that deep, and I'm like, yeah, no. I'll deal with that.
Hit me up when you got that, because I got an attic full of Toyota parts too.
Yeah.
It might be covered with Flexstone, but
Hey, I don't care. It's better than a hole. I can put something in there, but you reach in there and there's wires and the window motor, so it sucks.
Well, and the weird thing is you're looking at his 86. 86 is a fucking antique car now.
Yeah, I know.
And
Good news to you, it's been an antique car.
Yeah.
Because right now, 25 years, 2022. So is it 1990?
97.
check this
Yeah.
over. Go ahead, Pee Wee.
Yeah, we're getting to a point where 25 years wasn't that long
Well,
ago.
when
You know what I mean?
I
It's just not that long ago.
we were at you and I were at a freaking import show a year or so ago, and I saw an SI Civic, and I'll have to find the buy style because I don't remember what they call it. But I looked over while you're like, I go to the bathroom. I'm sitting here. I'm just kind of like, I look over. Here's a Civic, and I look down like it's got antique plates on it, and I went, what the fuck? I'm old. So
Well, you know what? The whole 25-year thing is a formality. Because, is it really an antique at 25 years?
Would you
'Cause
put
I don't-
antique plates on your car?
no.
No.
I don't know. But is it really an antique, though? Think about it.
Well, it is.
Okay, mine is, yeah, because it's old. It's an 86.
Okay, if your house is 25 years old, is your house an antique house?
No, but it's a little easier to find parts for your house at the Home Depot than
Yeah,
you go to
you
the
got-
fucking
you got
AutoZone and
it.
find shit for an '86 Toyota.
Right, I'm in like Arizona junkyards trying to find the lost hidden gem just so I can get some door handles.
Well, the crazy thing is, I started a new job, and I'm actually working at a dealership where we sell used cars, and we're buying shit from all over. And like when my boss first saw my house, I take him in the front garage, and he goes, "Holy shit! Do you know what you have here?" I'm like, "Yes," and I close the door. But the Toyotas are fucking money, dude. You think C10s and fucking old
Toyota
Fords.
tax is real.
Dude, the Toyota trucks are way the fuck up there now.
I've seen them with like 280,000 miles for like 10 grand and going.
Oh, I saw it last
Those
night.
are also 4-wheel drive, jacked up, big mutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2000 Toyota Tundra, 400,000 miles on it. They wanted $5,900
And they're gonna get it.
for 400. That's a 500,000 miles.
Dude, we got a
How is
first.
it worth $5,000? How?
We've got a first gen taco at work now.
Oh, that blue one.
It's clean. Front ends, the hoods needs some work and that. It's not like broken or anything. It's just showing age. 200,000 miles. We're asking $5,000 for it, and it's.
I want a taco.
Dude, I want it.
I want an 03.
He's talked me
Bad.
out of it. He's like, you don't want this one. You can get the next one.
Yeah, but why don't you want that one? Besides the prices they're
Because he
asking
can't
for.
bring the price down because he's got a lot into it.
Oh.
He's like, we can find cheaper ones for you.
I need an 03. I like the 03. I've been really digging the 03s. I love the older ones, but I kind of really want to build an 03.
Dude, the first gens are just fucking amazing, and I've got a '92, and I kind of want to make that.
You know what I want to do? We got people importing cars from everywhere. I want to import a truck. I want a right-hand drive truck, like mini truck. There's only a few out there, right?
Yeah, well,
A few of
when
them.
you-
I've seen maybe like 5 or 6 of them at shows, but they're usually when they're way, way modified and somebody did that on their own. Like they didn't come factory like that.
Right.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
but you could find it. Of course, we'll be going into freaking antique cars and going to Japan and looking for. Hey, I'm looking for a right-hand dash for an '86 Toyota.
Right.
And, I'm sure the parts are out there, but it's.
So wait, if we're 25 years from now, what would that be, like 97, like you said? So that's not too bad of an antique car if we did a taco.
Yeah, 97 is 25 years. So
It took us that long to do that math.
No, I figured it out I figured it out like 10 minutes ago, but I just made sure that I was right.
So 97?
97.
Damn, I'm fucking antique. I'm like fucking ancient.
Well, you had to be born in 2001 to buy alcohol, so. Or 2000.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Where did time go, man?
Yeah, you go to the liquor store. You must be this age and born by 2001. I'm like,
Yeah, that always makes you feel
whoa.
And then you get carded.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey, I don't have a problem with that at my age. I'm like, you're going to card me? Thank you. God bless you. Whatever. But, so let's get back to it. You know, I don't know, what do you want to talk about? Pee-wee, you've been quiet for a while. And
Yeah, I know. I usually am not. What do we want to talk about?
we're running out of time, just so you know.
Are we running out of time?
We're at 20 minutes when I fucking went over there, so
How many minutes were we in?
20 minutes and it's already been 5. So
Yeah.
we got about 4 minutes.
What the hell do we want to talk about?
I don't know. It just seems like we talked earlier about how everything's kind of changed, and you know, dude, this winter was hard. I don't know about you guys, but it seemed like not very many people are out there building anything.
I'm trying. I'm trying to build whenever I can. I keep getting pulled off because of X, Y, and Z. You know.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
I know
about
we
$2.
got the COVID thing and all the other shit going on and stuff that's kind of pulling people away. But I think there's a lot. You know, there's a lot of shit. You know. Like, for instance, us, you know, I was going through some personal shit, and it's kept me away from some things, and I know there's a lot of that going around, because this shit really is playing with people's emotions and mentality and whatnot, but, you know, it's I want to...
yeah, but it's over on Monday.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
lifting all the
We
bands
don't,
and
have to wear, we
everything.
don't got to wear a mask tomorrow.
Not in Illinois, at least. Yeah.
Thanks, Pritzker.
Right.
Um,
I'm ready for that.
But, you know, we want to see you guys getting out there, because... You know, the way I look at things is, I don't, you know, like, I think it's been almost 4 months since we put out a video, and
Jesus Christ,
it's been longer since we've done a couch tune, but, like, the motivation was gone, and this is where we need you guys, because, you know, we get demotivated just like you guys, so I hear a lot of you guys are like, I get so much inspiration from you. That's great. I want to see what you're doing, because... Your inspiration, you know, when you get inspired in your building, then I get inspired.
I'll tell you what, there's been a couple people posting on the outside of the box page. The one guy is building a bumper, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Somebody's building the trunk setup, and I'm like, and they're doing it all like MDF.
Dude,
like,
yeah, that was nice.
That's really cool, because that's what I'm into, and I'm like, so I do see it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Like,
I just gotta get out there.
I feel like
sometimes that's half the battle is getting out into the garage. I've been doing a lot of
with
that
Randy
recently.
Macho Man Savage. Right now.
Oh yeah! God,
But
why?
yeah, dude, it's
They're
you know,
special.
the other thing I want to bring up, and is what I'm kind of like was thinking about, is you get these people, like, somebody posted something and Pete was telling me, he's like, you guys were called arrogant and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking arrogant because I build shit. But you guys got to understand, when they're coming into cars is a testosterone driven fucking thing.
It's like one of the last activities that is.
You know, I'll be out in the garage and I'm out here fucking, and I'm like, I'm a bad motherfucker. And then I post something on the internet and see somebody else, and I'm like, oh, dude, that's fucking badass. I'm going to go back. I'm the same way, but, you know, that's the thing. It's like some of these people, like, they're like, oh, you guys are arrogant pricks. Yeah, we are, because...
I mean, I don't think I am.
Well, when
maybe I am a little bit.
when I came up in the mini truck world, when I was where they are, I'm looking up at these people, and they were like, that's how the people treated me. So, you know, but if it wasn't treated that way, I wouldn't be to their level now, because, you know, it'd be like participation trophy. You're like, I only got to do so much.
Everything you do to a mini truck is like a flex. It's like
anything you do to any vehicle is a flex.
Anything, it's like it's a showboat of skill.
Hmm?
That's what a mini truck used to be.
Yeah, it used to be a
You know what I
showboat
mean?
of skill of what skills you could do.
Right.
Not of
on
what
your
skills
truck.
you can afford.
Yeah, it's how much your
Right.
wallet can do.
Well, that's why Fat Fabs, like what Fat Fabs does is really, really cool, okay? But I am not impressed that somebody can afford like what's an Escalade? 110,000 for a base, whatever.
All right, well, you better
Okay.
break it off quick, because we're at 20
And then
inches.
okay, and then you're gonna pay what, 50,000 to have it body drop, and then you're gonna pay 10,000 for rims and tires. Which it's really cool that they can make the truck work and all the functions work in the truck, but like there's no art to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to have to break them off there because we are at 29. We're going to cut this into a two-parter, so we're going to go ahead and hit the stop, and we'll come right back next time with another one.
Are we two-parting this?
Soundtrack, what's poppin', baby? Woo! If y'all ain't know, I go by the name of Lupe Fiasco, representing that first and 15. Yeah, and this one right here, I dedicate this one right here to all my homies out there grinding. You know what I'm saying? Legally and illegally. You know what I'm talking about? So, check it out. First got it when he was 6, didn't know any tricks. Matter of fact, first time he got on it, he slipped, landed on his hip and busted his lip. For a week he had to talk with a list like this. Now we can end the story right here, but shorty didn't quit, it was something in the air. Yeah, he said it was something so appealing, he couldn't fight the feeling, something about it. He knew he couldn't doubt it, couldn't understand it, branded since the first kickflip he landed. Labeled a misfit, a bandit, cocoon, cocoon, cocoon. His neighbors couldn't stand it, so he was banished to the park. Started in the morning, wouldn't stop after dark. Yeah, when they said it's getting late in here, so I'm sorry, young man, there's no